Wait, what are we doing?
Sucking dick and fucking pussy.
A fucking fascist.
Stay out of Malibu, Lebowski. My name's Henry Confidential. We are doing another draft. Go ahead and check out Schmoedown, Friends and Family. We just did a draft over there that hosted by, Movie Hero Network. The Schmoedown, Friends and Family is a group. But Movie Hero Network, we just did a draft over there hosted by our one and only Jacob Barber, where we did under 101 minutes movies because Antonio didn't follow the rules and he picked 100, so it didn't follow the under 100 rule. But we had a lot of fun with that, and there's 100 more we could have picked. But with that said, we're going to the draft order. First overall selection, Antonio Chavez. Today's topic is selected by Jay Burns, but fight scenes. So what are your thoughts on just fights in general? Are you an action guy? Is this something you kind of have to bullshit? And you ready to have some fun?
I'm definitely ready to have some fun. I love, action is definitely a favorite genre of mine. When it comes to these fights, there's so many different kind of just variations because you got martial arts, you got sword fights, you got, mixtures. And so, me having the first overall pick is definitely going to be a tough one. So, looking forward to see how this goes.
There you go. And Jay, you selected today's topic. Is this something that you're extremely passionate about, or something you just kind of threw at the wall and you were like, it's either Elvis, Bigfoot, or Abraham Lincoln, or fight scenes?
Well, I'm not asking who Batman could potentially be, but what I am asking is, do people like action scenes in movies? Action scenes in movies, fight scenes in movies don't necessarily have to take place just in action movies. I'm hoping to see a little bit of a differing opinion from everybody here. I don't think it's going to happen. But this was one of those ones where it's like, you know what? Everybody can always argue like comic book fight scenes, but there aren't just fight scenes in comic book movies. I want to see what everybody else can bring to the table here. And I hope that we don't all have like similar lists, but I feel like we will all have similar lists, unfortunately. I can't wait to see what happens. But thanks for actually doing this one. I know you didn't want to do the devil one, but that's fine. We'll do the devil one when you're asleep or watching a movie.
No, I did want that one. It was the martial arts one I was joking past. But anyway, I just mentioned the rule of one comic book movie per list, just so it doesn't get oversaturated.
Absolutely.
That's what we like to do in these drafts. If there's something that we feel like it could potentially saturate, we set that caveat. So with that said, jumping over to me, I have some fun ones. I don't think mine are all just action based, so that's going to be interesting to see if they get taken. If the draft strategy is definitely going to come into play in this one. JPO, you were not the most confident in this list. After some research, now is your confidence building, or is it one of those things where you're like, we'll see what happens?
Because obviously I want to pick a list where I'm slightly passionate. I did see some fights on several lists where I'm like, I just haven't seen that movie, so I'm not going to argue things I haven't seen. But there's plenty of here that I think I can. I'll definitely get 5 that I'm very passionate about that I think deserve to be on the list. So absolutely, this is a good one.
There you go. And last but not least, Jacob Barber. As a guy who likes a lot of like animated films, dramas, and stuff, which don't have as much fight scenes in it. Is this something that was hard for you to come up with? And are you excited?
I'm still Googling.
Hey Siri, pick my top 5, please. All right. So without further ado,
Alexa,
calm down. My lamp in my room is going to go, and then Kate Hudson's going to be confused because you can't Shazam it. With that said,
my garage door just opened, guys.
Oh, Jesus. Antonio, you were on the clock.
All right, so yeah, I'm not even really going for the poll this time. I'm just gonna go with honestly. This is actually
no
a
poll.
childhood memory for seeing this fight. My brother took me to see this movie, and I think this fight actually still holds up. I'm gonna go with Neo versus Smith subway fight in the first
Fuck.
Matrix.
It's a great pick. Honestly, that's a great fucking pick, dude.
Yeah,
This is the one like right after he's realized that like he's
beginning to
learned-
believe.
He's beginning to believe. Yeah, bro. No.
Because the thing is, there's like essentially three. No, I don't count four because I don't count resurrections. But you can definitely say there's 3 fights with them because you got Reloaded and then Revolutions. But this is the first one that started it off. You know, it's actually a little bit more better choreographed. You know, no freaking. I mean, listen, I love Dragon Ball Z, but like the whole freaking flying in the air and fighting, kind of made it a little bit video game-ish.
It's
This is just
over
straight-
9,000.
But this in the subway, it's just like you said, like there you go. When he's starting to believe that he's the one, it's just straight up, you know, fighting a little bit of the whole like, you know, where he's just punching him against the wall, and it's just like it's almost like 100 times at once. But otherwise, just a great fight, you know, and then it's a great like pretty much it's like the cherry on top of the whole movie because that's pretty much after that. Then that's when it ends, and he finally becomes the one. Yeah, that's my first pick.
All right, absolutely a great pick. And as always, we'll do a recap after every round. So, Jay, what is your first overall pick?
Dae-Soo-Oh's hallway fight scene with the hammer in Old Boy will be my first fucking pick.
Not Josh Brolin.
Not Josh Brolin. Absolutely not Josh Brolin.
Imagine if your hints earlier off screen would have screwed you over, and Antonio went first overall. Just ruined your whole strategy.
Right? Well, no, because that was my second pick. I'm not gonna lie. If he didn't take this, I would exactly. If he didn't take what he took, I would have taken it. And had he taken what I, yeah, exactly.
All right. Then we're gonna go over to me.
I know where you're going. Just go ahead. I know where you're going.
It's more about draft strategy.
I was like, oh, there's so much strat and thought behind what I'm about to choose.
Trade your pick to the Raiders.
Yeah. All right,
do it for Derek Carr.
My first pick, I'm going to go with The Bride versus Vernita Green and Kill Bill.
Vernita Green, though.
Yeah, because
wow. Okay.
The reason I'm going with that one is because it is literally just a hand-to-hand there, and that's the most important thing. It's the most brutal. The use of the bedroom or living room with all the glass and all that stuff really sets the tempo of like what we're getting into. You know what I mean? Like there are other scenes in the movie that, you know, shout out you guys if you guys want to bring it up. But I'm going with this one just because it really showcases the skill of the fight and also just the deadly assassins, about how they know each other. You know what I mean? And how they're able to feed off that. And then also once her daughter Nakia comes in there, and it just showcased the stakes of just like, yo, you know, these assassins are so badass they can kill each other at the flip of a dime. But if a daughter comes in there, it just really sets the tempo. And I don't know, it's just something about that vibe that I feel like that one really stands out for me for just what the tone of that film really is deep down. So that's what I'm going to go with. So
that's a good pick.
Thank you very much.
Respect.
All right, JPO.
I'm going to go with a one-on-one fight. They Live, Roddy Piper versus Keith David.
Stole my round one pick.
Not a round one pick, but I respect it.
Also,
I respect it.
I also just don't want anyone else to have it but me. So that's why it's a round one.
That's fair. No, 100%. That's fair.
Of all the wrestlers I've met, legitimately, Piper was the coolest. That dude had such a heart, so funny. But anywho, go back to the actual scene itself too. It is just a one-on-one fight. It's a while too.
It's
you
like
know what
8
I mean?
minutes of them just beating the shit out of each other, bro.
Double digits, but yeah,
there's some comedy in there too. Some comedy.
There's comedy. It's not the most polished either because it's a fight. It's not.
Wait,
you know what I mean?
is it
It's
David
not,
Keith or Keith David?
Keith David, and then the next fight will be a David Keith fight. That's gonna be my second pick. No, I don't know. Has he done anything? Daredevil. He had a good boxing match with Daredevil. I'll pick that number 2. And but yeah, like I said, it's
As you say that,
always...
Barbara's writing down Daredevil.
No, that was my first pick. So now I'm like,
hell yeah. It's not always the most beautiful.
I'm back on Google.
It's just 2 dudes legit having a scrap, and it's great. Yeah.
Nice. You got Chad's vote for that because it's horror.
Yeah, and it's a great flick too. But yeah,
it is a great movie. If you haven't seen it, It's pure 80s schlock. But
I've
it's
seen
so
it. It's just,
good.
I need
dude.
to rewatch it.
It's so good.
And I've also had Chew Bubblegum Kick-Ass Bubblegum. They made bubblegum at one point.
They did. I wanted
might
to buy it
still
on
have it.
eBay.
I had it
wanted
for
to
the
buy it on
longest
eBay, but it
time.
was expensive.
I had it for the longest time too, like the last few pieces.
That's hilarious. All right, so now I know Jacob, you have back to back. Let's do your first one, and then we'll recap round one.
That was my first one.
Also, you don't have JPO on there, by the way.
You
Hen.
have
Oh yeah,
Scar
just
versus-
as a heads up. Just as a heads up.
Yeah, I'm here too.
he's gonna go with Scar versus Simba.
Yo, good fight though. Good fight though.
Nah, I'm joking.
Actually, not like legit.
Like kind of a fire fight, bro.
Nah, I'm joking.
You know, I was saving that for like round 5, but you know what?
He's taking it now.
Really?
He's taking it now because he couldn't find anything else on Google.
I was saving it because I was like, that's a round 5 fight. I feel like I could get it then. So hopefully I still can. I'm gonna take the because I mean there's a couple. I'm gonna take the fight from Inception between Joseph Gordon-Levitt and
Nice.
what's
That's a
his
good pick.
name?
Good pick.
Where like the anti-gravity because they're in the van.
Yeah.
And, yeah. This is not like my category at all for draft. Like I'm gonna be saying what's his name. I'm gonna be saying when they were
We
doing
all do it, bro. We
all that
do
sort
it.
of stuff. And so yeah, there were a few in mind. I really wanted the They Live fight first. Like when this topic was brought up, like that was the first one that came to my mind. So I was like, absolutely. But I think the hallway fight is also pretty solid. So yeah, I think it's a good first round pick for me anyway.
there you go. And we're gonna start with you. Obviously, you just talked about the They Live one. Or is any of the other options something you would have picked? Have you seen all the movies? And how do you qualify that?
I mean, outside of JPO's, because we know that's the one that you were gonna pick because
Yeah.
you've said it like 4 times.
Yeah, so I was gonna pick They Live. I've seen The Matrix out of all the other 3 movies.
What?
Yeah, I know.
You
It's the only
seen
one.
The Matrix?
And, yeah, I've seen it once. I was very late. to
That
it.
niche martial arts movie you've seen.
You say that with sarcasm, but
It's pronounced Matrix. A lot of Americans get it wrong.
And you're
know
right.
that-
It is,
you
it is
know that I
Matrice.
don't watch a lot of
Matrix.
movies. Yeah, plural is matrices. By the
I
way.
don't watch a lot of movies, says the guy with an entire bookshelf of Blu-rays behind him.
2 bookshelves. I'm sorry, left to right.
He's like, let me hide one.
Wes Anderson is not liking your angle right now.
So anyway,
That's why he never comments.
I have
That's
not
why.
seen. I have not seen Old Boy or Kill Bill, but they're on my watch list. So
Oh boy, watch along.
Wait, hold up. I can understand not watching the fucking Korean version of Old Boy, but not watching Kill Bill.
That hurts, man. This is
He didn't
like
see,
the
he
fourth
didn't
time.
see Reservoir Dogs either, though. That's what
I
I'm
know.
saying. He's gotta catch up on
Yeah,
the-
Jacob,
And
Jacob,
Clerks 2. Jay and Clerks 2. Okay, sorry, Jacob. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to pile on.
Sir,
I just
you
wanted
only
to-
live 45 minutes away from me. I will come and piss on your apartment's front lawn.
I would say just come and like
Watch movies with them.
along. Yeah, you want straight to violence.
let him decline the watch line first and then piss on him. JPO, what are your thoughts on round one?
No, great picks here, man. I definitely would have taken Old Boy here in the next couple of rounds, but I'm not surprised it is gone. Matrix, of course, iconic here. Kill Bill, there's a couple. Is Kill Bill still on the board, or is it 1 per movie?
I
No,
say
I would say there are multiple fights in the film itself.
No,
Sorry,
that's why I'm
multiple
asking.
fights.
I'm asking for future reference.
No. I would definitely say that there are multiple fights still left
Yeah,
throughout
that's
the
what I
Kill
said
Bill
earlier.
franchise.
That's why I said there.
Yeah.
That's when I even said it. I was like, I get it. Like you can only pick 1 per movie because then once again, oversaturation.
Right, but I'm just making
Yeah.
sure it's set, like all of us. Okay,
No, yeah.
just asking. So it's a good one though here, and yeah, Inception I thought about too. JGL. I mean, that's another one that comes straight to mind. I feel
Yep.
like it's in somebody's intro.
All right, and then for me, The Matrix and Inception were both all on my list. The Old Boy fight as well, and they all this round 1 was all literally on my list. Like I only have a short list of 10 right now, and half of them are already gone. So
Yeah, we'll pick the rest of his list.
Jay, as the creator of this topic, how did round 1 live up to your expectations?
Like I said, me and Ant-Man, were like really ready to flop if he had taken Old Boy, I was going to take The Matrix. This wasn't the one that I thought that would go from Kill Bill in round one. Like I said earlier, I respect the pick. They Live is just one of them fight scenes that is just goated with the sauce, by the way, above everything else. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't know if I would have taken the Inception fight in round one, but I don't hate it because there are worse fights that you could have chosen, Barber. And I know you're working off of Google, but I appreciate and respect you for being here. But that to me is personally like a fucking like a round 3 pick. Well, Henry's here and he doesn't have like the number 1 pick and the number 5 pick. So you definitely could have waited a little bit. But I can't wait to see what your number 2 pick is. And
before we get to that, Antonio, recap.
Yeah, I pretty much I'm also in the same kind of boat where everyone pretty much like my whole list is like cut in half. But when you explained your reasoning for choosing The Bride versus Renita, I was like, you know what? That got me to look at it, and in a way that kind of fight is just better, and not better, but just different in a better way because it's strictly one-on-one, even though obviously the other one's her against like freaking 80 people. But like, yeah, the way you explained it, yeah, and it just made it make more sense. It's just like, you're right, just a gritty one-on-one fight. Yeah, I had Old Boy on my list, and it's funny that me and Jay were thinking that closely alike. And then They Live, I like that brawl. I see it as like a round 2 pick, but I respect it for the round 1. And then Inception, I do respect it as a round 1 pick only because of how innovative it was. Like the fact that it's not really special effects, that it's actually practical effects. And the way they
it's the hallway fight, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
And so how it was innovative for its time, and I was like, and the way they filmed it. Right. So that's why I'm like, I respect it as a round 1 pick. So yeah, either way, all bangers all around.
There you go. All right. Let's see if we can keep the momentum going. Jacob, Barber, what is your second pick, first of round 2?
Oh, we're not keeping the momentum going when I'm using Google. And also just picking for me now. I'm gonna go with one that is fairly recent. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna get my geek movie out of the way. I'm gonna go with the bus fight from Shang-Chi.
Wow, okay.
I really like that fight. As an individual who has taken
a couple years, we are going to talk about the things.
I've taken a couple of years. I've taken a couple of years of martial arts.
No, we are not. I'm serious. I don't want this show to be 2 hours long. I want the regular times. We have your times after. You've been talking a long time, and I appreciate it. Now I'm going to set the rules. Anyway, Barber, what is your thoughts on your pick? I say that with love. I got to be a showrunner.
No, you're good. You're good.
It was just a scene that I didn't expect to love as much as I did. I go back to that scene alone from the movie, which was a surprise because I don't know much about the character itself. And again I'm using just personal picks, and of the last several Marvel movies, and if we have to choose a geek movie. This is one that I can go back to and just enjoy this scene without having to, watch the movie as a whole. Like I can just watch this scene and
you don't have to choose geek, right?
No.
No, but if it's available, I'm going to.
I'll just make it. She said have to. I'll just make sure in case I don't get to one.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Definitely understand. All right. So with that said, yes, you don't have to pick geek, but once again, one per.
No more than one. Yeah.
JPO, what is your round 2 pick?
All right, I'm gonna go to one that also uses the soundtrack to its advantage. The first Kingsman, that church scene.
Okay. Explain yourself.
Is anyone vetoing? We talked behind the scenes.
I will veto unless a great fucking explanation can come up.
Because there's more than guns. What do you mean? Like there's stabbings, there's fights, there's handhold. Like you said, as long as it's not just gung fu. Like, and there's a lot more.
Unbiasedly, Brian is behind the scenes. I
said gun kata, not gun fu.
Whatever that means.
Would you allow the Kingsman church scene with this list? Yes or no in the private chat, please. Tiebreaker. You're unbiased.
Like I said, I was only told the caveat was just like strictly like guns. I know there couldn't be some guns because you guys even said guns could be in it.
Oh, I forgot you weren't even technically. You were probably not around.
Yeah, he wasn't here for that portion.
Kingsman: The Secret Service Church. Would you classify that as a quote unquote fight scene that is not a only gunfight action scene? Yes or no? All right, he said thumbs up. So anyone else gonna veto it? No, we're good. All right, then go ahead.
Absolutely not. Good pick.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, like I said, no, I did think about what we said before. Because there's a lot more to it. You know, there is guns, but he's out of ammo. Other people, no one else has a gun in that for the most part. So it's well choreographed, terrifically edited too, and just really zany, a lot of fun. It is kind of sad when you think about it because most of those people are innocent and don't deserve to die. But well, I'm just saying, they're not murdered horrifically. I don't know. Just saying.
They're all racist.
And, are they always? Well, not everyone. There's
my Jewish black boyfriend.
It's in the
Hail
South.
Satan. Hail Satan. Have a nice day.
So yeah, just really, really great scene.
All right, there you go. So now we're gonna bounce over to me, and I am going to go with my geek pick, and I'm going to go Spider-Man 2, the train scene. Where it's one of those scenes where when you think of just all-time comic book movies, when you think of all-time action scenes in general, let alone specifically in a comic book movie, and when you think of good character moments like this really covers all that. Spider-Man against Doc Ock on the train, it just showcases just Doc Ock's use of the tentacles. It does a great job of obviously using CG, but like holding up the test of time just visually, and obviously just about the environment. That I feel like that what really holds weight for me on a action scene, a fight scene, is how does the environment play into it. And I feel like the subway train really does a great job of that, of New York as a people. You know what I mean? Everyone says that Asgard's a people. New York is a people. You know what I mean? Hey, thank you, Spider-Man. My name's Ant-Man. No, wait, that's a trailer for an upcoming movie. No, but Spider-Man 2, that movie's a banger.
Spoilers.
And, yeah, exactly. Well, it's in the trailer. Yeah.
Nobody watches trailers anymore.
Yeah, I haven't watched the new ones, and I fucking don't put spoilers in the thumbnails, assholes. But anyway, yeah. So Spider-Man 2,
Dude, Knock the Cabin. I hate that second trailer too much.
Exactly, probably. So yeah, with that said, this is a great pick, and I know Ant-Man is pissed. So there we go. Jay, what is your next pick?
Ip Man versus 10 black belts in the very first Ip Man movie. This is by far probably one of my favorite fucking fight scenes.
Awesome fight scene.
It's a great fight scene, dude. Like, it's a Japanese dissident who is able to gain 1 bag of rice per every fight per every fighter that he takes on and knocks out. And he says he wants to take on 5, and he systematically destroys 10 fucking black belts in the span of like 3 fucking minutes. Dude, it is by far just one of my favorite fucking fight scenes that I've ever watched in a martial arts movie. Just like a fight scene in general, but in a martial arts movie.
Donnie Yen is the GOAT.
Donnie Yen is the GOAT. He is that guy.
Movie, so I've heard great things. Good job. All right, so Antonio, end round 2 for us.
Okay. Damn, I didn't think Ant-Man was gonna go that high, but I respected it. I respect the fuck out of it. So yeah. I'm gonna go with my geek movie. I'm gonna go. Interesting fight. Cap and Bucky versus Iron Man and Captain America: Civil War. It's emotional. It's awesomely choreographed, even though obviously there's special effects in there. But like, it's just it's got an emotional backdrop. It's like, I don't care. He killed my mom. Stuff like that. Like, that always still gets to me. The fact that it's just like, it's not even like a difference of opinion anymore. It's just pretty much just all out revenge from my boy Tony. And the fact that he's like saying like, get the fuck out of the way, man. Like, I don't care if he's your boy. I gotta take him down because he just fucking broke my mother's neck pretty much. So yeah, that fight always gets to me. It's awesome. And I love how they did the still shot to call back to the comic artwork as well. So yeah, man, that fight is always amazing to see. So yeah, Cap and Bucky versus Iron Man.
There you go. And speak on how round 2 went for you, Ant.
all pretty good. I mean, I love I love that Kingsman fight just because Freebird alone makes that freaking fight scene freaking amazing. Spider-Man, I was respect. I even love the extended version that you don't really see as much. But yeah, that low-key good fight. I was upset, but I was happy to still get Cap. That was one of Shang-Chi. Yeah, I was like, fuck, that actually was like, I forgot about that fight, but that's like, that also has like awesome music behind it. And the fact that it's actually, I think, real, like, I don't think that has too many like stunt people doing it. I think, what's his name? I forgot his name already, but the guy who plays Shang-Chi, Simu Liu, right? He does all his own fighting, as far as I know, and the way they shot that was amazing. And obviously, Jay with freaking Ip Man. Yeah, had to give it to Donnie Yen. Respect that. Again, bangers all around. Not a bad pick so far.
There you go. All right, Jay, what are your thoughts on how round 2 went?
I honestly kind of thoroughly enjoy everybody's picks right now. I don't think anybody has made a bad pick. I think that there might have been a misjudged pick in round 1, and that could have been like a round 3 thing, but everybody's round 2s are solid as hell. I can't wait to see what round 3 brings us.
Yeah, absolutely. And then going on to me, the Spider-Man 2 one, I just kind of went with the poll pick there, because and also just without the research, I didn't think about it. I just spaced on it because Captain America: Civil War is in my top 100, so it's my my second favorite MCU. So just one of those movies where it's like I just blanked on that one. So great job picking that. If you want to trade, let me know. But the Ip Man, I've never seen a single Ip Man movie, so I can't vouch for that. But I know I've heard great things, both Donnie Yen, as a martial artist, but also just as those films in general. Like whenever you have random people on your Facebook and you talk about movies, you're like, "What have you seen the Ip Man movies?" I'm like, "Dude, I don't even know you. What are you talking about?" But apparently they vouch for it.
Why does Jacob Barber keep commenting on my posts?
No, I do know him, and we'll trade. I'll watch Ip Man if you watch Pulp Fiction. No, Reservoir Dogs. But anyway, and then the Shang-Chi one, it's one of those movies that as time goes by, I feel like I'm forgetting about it, but that bus scene is not a scene that I forget specifically. So that's great. And then the church fight, obviously we had a behind the scenes conversation. Is it eligible? Is it not? Obviously we voted for it now. So great pick. No issues there. JPO, what are your thoughts on how round 2 went?
No, really, really good stuff here, man. There's a lot of emotion in that Captain America fight here. Spider-Man 2 is always a fun one. That's memorable. Shang-Chi, great introduction to a character as well. You know what I mean? You're kind of, in his shoes for that. And I also have not seen it, man, but who would have liked that pick? My mother. She loves Donnie Yen. So yeah, good pick.
There you go. And last but not least, Jacob Barber, how did round 2 go post your pick?
These are all great picks. I'm sure if I had more time to Google, I would have remembered Ip Man, because I actually have seen those movies. Nice. And yeah, all the fight scenes in those movies are great.
You got 3 more to choose from.
Yeah, just Google best fight from Ip Man 2. But yeah, no, these are all great picks. I enjoy all these scenes. So very solid round 2.
There you go. All right, Ant-Man, start off round 3 for us, bud.
Okay, I'm surprised this is still here for round 3, and I'm gonna take it because it's part of one of my favorite franchises. Going Rocky versus Apollo in the very first Rocky.
Okay.
This is the one that set it off. This is Super Fight number 1. Obviously, we know how Super Fight 2 went, but this is the one that started it off. Apollo being his usually goofy self, with the iconic Stars and Stripes trunks. That's all another reason why I value this one above Super Fight 2, because he has those trunks, and obviously those carry on throughout the whole franchise. And then, but yeah, just the fact that this got really down and dirty, lasted the whole freaking 15 rounds. And yeah, it's an iconic fight, obviously, but it's just meant to show that, hey, even a bum from the streets can just, make it all the way to the end. That's all he didn't really care about winning. He just cared about just going the distance. And that's all that matters. So had to go Rocky Apollo in the first Rocky ever.
There you go. All right, Jay, what is your third pick?
I'm literally caught between 2, and I think that both of them might slip to me. I'm gonna go with Evelyn versus Everybody in Everything Everywhere All at Once, when she's trying to get to Joe Butapaki at the end of the movie. That fight scene where she just like awakens everybody is one of my favorite fight scenes that I've seen in a movie in a very long time. And like Michelle Yeoh deserves all of the fucking love and all of the praise. She's done a great job in her fucking just extensive career. And the only person who's ever fucking like tried to give her credit is Jackie Chan. And he's just sexist as shit, according to her, not me, her. So
All right. Now we're gonna bounce back over to me. I got nothing to say. I can't vouch for that. So that's a bummer if that's true. So going back over to me.
It's a Jackie Chan scene, isn't it? This is pretty awkward.
From which rush hour is it?
It's a drunken master.
No, I'm not gonna do that now. Ironically, I'm going to go John Wick 3, and I'm going the museum fight. I guess that's the best way I could describe it, because that's the one where
that's a fire scene.
Yeah, where Charlie Brown's like, "I love you, and I'm a big fan of you," and then they have a lot of fights. They're busting through glass, and it's all hand to hand. A little bit of sword, some gun stuff, but a lot of it is hand to hand. And then you bring the raid guys in there. You like that Charlie Brown thing? Charlie Brownza! No, that's Kill Bill. But anyway,
I did.
Oh, he fights the Iron Chef, right?
Yeah. So yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the Hawaiian.
Yeah. So I'm going to call it the museum fight, so you guys could just kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about there. But I actually wouldn't have remembered that. I just watched a reaction to that today, just because when I was at work, and sometimes watching reactions helps me both with trivia and also just random scenes and stuff to be like, oh, I love this movie. But anyway, so the museum fight, that's just one of the ones, because not only does it have amazing choreography, but it also just has great visuals, just the use of colors, lighting. It's all in frame, because obviously it's a bunch of martial artists just going ham, and it's literally the concept of there's so many times where John could have got killed, but they're like, no, we're going to do this right. You deserve this. And if we're going to kill you, it's because I'm beating you, not because you slipped up or, it's 2-on-1 type of deal. It wants it to be as fair as possible. So it really, showcases just the archery of martial arts and just fighting in general. So yeah, this fight's a banger, and it's one of the most memorable things in the entire franchise that is full of fire action scenes. So John Wick 3, the museum fight. JP.
All right. Well, I asked earlier. I think everyone was okay with it. I do want to go Kill Bill, Bride versus the Crazy 88s.
Challenge.
You basic bitch.
No, I'm not kidding. There's no chance. There's no
I'm
chance.
like, I asked already. No, man. When I think of it, my mind goes to this one here. It's something I've revisited recently too, and it goes on for a bit, but you somehow believe that she can get away with this here, man. Just again, terrifically choreographed, well shot. You're invested in this character already at this point here, and yeah, somehow they make it pretty believable. That's a great scene.
Good song also behind it.
Yeah, like just the whole thing, just everything. Yeah.
There you go. And then Jacob, have you had enough time to research your next pick?
I have, but I need to ask: are we including wrestling?
Hell yeah!
If you want to go riding the Ram, I'm fine with it.
Okay, because I was going to go with the final match between Randy the Ram and the Ayatollah from The Wrestler.
Let's go with the cage match of Ready to Rumble to me.
Cage match.
I'm fine with it.
I don't have a problem with it.
No problem.
It's a fight, bro. It's a fight. 100%. Choreographed or not, all fights are choreographed.
Which one though? I'm sorry, Ayatollah or Necro?
The final one.
Okay,
Ayatollah, yeah.
The final one. You
I mean,
can tell how deep his research went.
It's
final
rigged, but it's still a fight. Yeah.
I love the insight
yeah,
into
man.
kind of how a match is called. Of course, JPO, you can speak more to that actually being in the wrestling business. But I love the ending, like when he goes off the top rope and the screen just goes black, and you kind of get to make up your own ending. Because as we've seen through the movie, he's kind of had some health issues and stuff. So I think it's a great ending to the movie, and I love the entire match leading up to it. So that'll be my pick.
That's what you took away from that movie? I know there are two people here who would be very disappointed with you because that's what you took away from that movie.
Yeah, there are 4 things that I took away from that movie, and 2 of them
Facts.
involve metal. With that said, Barbara, what are your thoughts on all the ones that went before you? Any of the ones that were on your list that you had to cross off and scramble beforehand, or is it one of the ones where there's just so many to choose from, and you're just happy with what you got?
I'm happy with what I got, but yeah, I don't know why I didn't. Everything Everywhere All at Once was such a great movie. I don't know why I didn't think of that final fight scene or the museum fight. It's just been a while since I've seen John Wick 3, so it just wasn't on my radar. But and yeah, Rocky. I mean, obviously that's a great pick. So yeah, solid picks all around. Obviously, I still haven't seen Kill Bill since we started this, so I can't speak on that fight either.
You haven't been watching it at 4 times speed right now,
Right.
bro.
I can't multitask. I miss Googling my next pick and.
All right, JP, what are your thoughts on how round 3 went?
Good stuff again, guys. It's funny. I didn't have any wrestling in mind. I thought about maybe the final fight in Royal Rumble for my 5th pick, but I didn't have wrestling, so that's a good one. Though. A lot of emotional stake at play there. Yeah, John Wick's a great one here. Challenge no. Everything Everywhere again. Maybe it's because it wasn't on any of the Google lists I saw. Those lists weren't updated, so I didn't think about that one either. That's a great one. Rocky. I might have gotten Rocky 2 actually. With Rocky and Apollo here. They're both great, so there's definitely no argument of it belonging. So yeah, good stuff.
There you go. And then for me, the Everything Ever All at Once, banger. Definitely, once again, just didn't think about it, just how it goes sometimes. Obviously, I went with the Bride versus Vernita for Kill Bill. Another reason of why I'm winning with that one over the Crazy 8-8 one, where it's like that one is such an homage to just the over stylized martial arts of the past, where it's literally like standing on the sword and running up the things and the jumps and all that stuff. Whereas the 1v1 at the beginning of the movie is just more grounded. So that was my tiebreaker there. The Rocky fight. Rocky's my favorite franchise, so you're never going to hear me, say a negative thing about that. Might not be the one I'm going to pick later, but we'll go about that later. And then Ram versus Ayatollah, definitely that's a banger. And once again, if I had to pick from that movie, that's not the one I would pick just because of the fighting, but I'm totally cool with it. The emotional things totally hold up there. So Jay, what are your thoughts on how round 3 went?
When we laid down the rules, I didn't think that Rocky would show up. It wasn't the movie that I thought would show up, but I also didn't take into consideration everybody that was here, seeing as there are multiple Rocky fans, so that's on me. Obviously, I love my pick. That John Wick museum fight scene is by far probably one of my favorite fight scenes in that movie. The Bride versus the Crazy 88s was the scene that I thought you were going to pick first and foremost. Like, I thought that was going to be the one that went in round 1, but there are a couple of fight scenes from like the Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2 that could go. And I'm sorry, Barber chose the wrestler. That's right. The Ram versus Ayatollah. This is one of those really weird ones where I've only seen the movie once, so I don't have a lot to say about it, but I don't think that it's a bad pick because it's one of those emotional cruxes of a movie. I like round 3 and I can't wait to see what round 4 brings us.
So far, we're off to a great start. Before we start that, Ant-Man, what are your thoughts on how this went?
Still no bad picks. Maybe some a little bit surprising. I think Jay has a steal of the draft so far with Everything Everywhere All at Once, because I was like, I love that movie. I only saw it once, but I mean, like, that fight scene, that's freaking definitely a hell of a fight scene, especially for recent releases. I was going back and forth between other Rocky fights, but I just felt like that's just the more iconic one. Just it set everything in motion pretty much. John Wick 3, that's my favorite John Wick movie, and yeah, that's also my favorite fight in the franchise. So yeah, respect it. Plus, it takes place in New York. So and then obviously Bride versus Crazy 88. Yeah, you can't go wrong with that. Awesome choreography. Especially even when it switches to like black and white. I love that little change right there too. And then The Wrestler, I've seen it more than a few times, and yeah, man, that last fight, it's a pretty good pick. And yeah, I get what you mean by how it ends, and definitely has an emotional, undertones behind it. So yeah, definitely still no bad picks, and definitely see how it's gotta give somehow. I'm curious to see how round 4 goes.
There you go. And speaking of that, Jacob Barber, kick us off round 4.
Oh, I'll make people say what?
Oh no.
That, because we joked about it, but it was honestly one that I was thinking about.
God,
I'm going
really?
Simba versus Scar. I'm doing it. I think
It's a fight.
It's a great fight scene, and you get that callback to when, spoiler alert for a 30-year-old movie, when Scar killed Mufasa, you get that callback, and Simba like hulks up and just like is like,
He hulks
"Listen,
up.
you killed my dad. You're not gonna do the same to me." And then I kind of wish
He killed my mom.
I kind of wish Simba was the one to take down Scar, but it ultimately went to the hyenas. Fine, whatever. But yeah, no, I mean, and it's also just the movie as a whole is just so personal to me. So if I can pick the Lion King in some capacity, I will.
And also, my favorite line in The Lion King is when Scar's like, Simba, what do you want? He's like, I want my father back, you son of a bitch. Oh wait, no, never mind. That's a different movie.
Yo, that's the Princess King.
Facts. JPO, what is your next pick?
My 4th pick, I'm gonna go with, it's not wrestling, but it's just as real. It's an MMA fight. It's the final fight from Warrior, the brother fight. Tom Hardy, Joel Edgerton. Another one, kind of like the wrestler, as far as there's so much emotional stake at this. You're not rooting against either one of these guys here. You could make claims as to why you want both to win, and it's again just you. I mean, we found out later on that Tom Hardy really could kick all of our asses, and Joel Edgerton probably could too, to be fair. But Tom Hardy legit became really in love with the sport and is good at it. So yeah, just the emotions there. Again, it's it shot well. That director has made several great films here. So yeah, emotional stakes there, the fights there. Yeah,
there you go. All right, we're going over to me. This is one that I'm actually shocked is in round 4, but this is the one that I'm also not risking it to make it to round 5, especially because I'm at number 3. I'm going comedy, and I am going Anchorman.
Yeah,
I am doing the balls.
Maybe it would have been my 5.
Exactly, but I didn't want to risk it not slipping to me because I'm like torn between like 3 more that I feel like I guarantee will get on the next one. This one I don't know for sure, so I'm going Anchorman. Just the melee, I'll call that.
The news team fight.
Yeah. This is a scene that does a great combination of comedy as well as Brick, where'd you get a grenade? Like, you know what I mean? I killed a guy. You killed a guy with a trident. Yeah,
you did.
It really got out of hand fast.
It's just exactly. That escalated quickly. Like it's one of those fight scenes where it's like what Jay talked about earlier. Like there's going to be some of these scenes in these movies that you just don't think about, and this is the perfect example. Like that came out of nowhere, and Anchorman is the perfect definition of a movie that like. When it comes to like start to finish, I don't love it as much as other people, but there are scenes and there are moments that, definitely stand out. And this is clearly one of them. So I'm happy reaching technically because I have that middle round, sometimes like in the draft, you want your guy, go get your guy. And Anchorman, the melee fight, that's the one I'm going with. So there you go. Jay, what are you doing?
I'm going Bruce Lee versus Han in Enter the Dragon, that final showdown.
Oh yeah.
Which I believe is like that seminal fucking martial arts movie, like final showdown that you want. I know everybody was like, oh, you want fight scenes. I'm not choosing a comic book movie. I'm sorry, it's not happening. I think I have enough here to do what I want to do. And I think that this is that one where if you think of like a final fight scene in a martial arts movie, this is what it is that you think of. Like you have the dude with the Wolverine tiger claws versus Bruce Lee. It is what it is. It's not the break-in scene where like he fucks up Jackie Chan and is like, I'll make sure that you have a career, and then Jackie Chan has a career. It's the actual final fucking fight scene of this movie, and this is one of the most fucking enjoyable like movie finales that you can watch.
Fair enough. All right, Ant-Man, close out round 4.
All right. I respect that because the guy's got the GOAT with Bruce Lee. So yeah, that was definitely on my list. I'm gonna go
Nobody,
The sword-
nobody kicked Bruce Lee's ass. The dad in the car says otherwise, buddy.
But that's not true, man.
I gotta go over a sword fight here. I'm gonna go with I'm not butchering these names. Yushu Lien versus Jen Yu and Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Pretty much Michelle Yeoh versus Zhang Zi. Another Michelle Yeoh fight.
The blind swordsman.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it the guy? Okay.
It's a good pick, by the way.
Wait.
I was-
Which one? Which fight are you guys thinking about? The one was just 1-on-1. Them two, like one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blind May. Isn't that her name? Am I tripping?
Is it the girl when she finally
Yeah.
reveals
It's
she's the
Michelle.
one?
Yeah, it's
Or is
Michelle
it
Yeoh.
Michelle
before she
Yeoh
reveals
versus-
she's the one? Is that when she has the mask on and she doesn't know that? That's
No.
her?
It's when she actually shows herself. It's that one where like they keep on switching weapons, taking it from each
a
part
really
of
good fight.
Yeah.
Is it the hot dog fingers one? Or?
No, we already talked about
Yeah.
the hot dog
Where's
fingers.
your-
Yeah,
where's your
yeah,
catch up on that? Fuck. What should I title this? I don't know what to title.
Sword fight.
I think that's
Sword
like the
fight.
monastery
Crouching
fight.
Tiger.
Monastery fight.
There you go.
Monastery fight, because that's when like they all like
Let me
Right.
pull a
Swords
Jacob
and-
Barber. I'm gonna Google it.
I don't know how to spell monastery. Chinese church fight.
MONASTARY. Monastery.
8, 6, 7.
it's pretty much the Green Destiny sword versus every other weapon in existence.
Facts.
Yeah.
Good
So
fight.
yeah, that's why
Good fight scene.
that's why I like that fight scene, because yeah, you're right. There are fight scenes where she does fight her when she has the black leotard or whatever. But I like that scene just because it's the choreography is amazing. There's not too much. I mean, obviously it's famous for the jumping around, the flying, but they're just strictly in a monastery, grounded, and then Michelle Yeoh just taking every pretty much other sword, which, because the funny thing is she's a master with every one of those weapons. But when it comes to the Green Destiny, she always comes up short. She almost won, but this girl had to freaking be a bitch and fucking chop her arm off at the last second, or at least cut her at the last second. But that fight was just amazing. I feel like one of the best choreographed fight scenes with weapons, also. So yeah, I have to go with that one. Leave Crouching Tiger on the floor.
There you go. All right. So with that said, how did round 4 live up to your expectation, Antonio?
Still no bad picks. I mean, as much as I feel like I gave Barbara the suggestion, I still like Simba versus Scar, man. So yeah, man, because it's still like, yeah, it's a fight. It's freaking uncle versus nephew. I mean, that's freaking family drama right there. So yeah, and then more family drama with Warrior also. Like, you can't go wrong with that. And obviously, you're gonna get no argument from me with Jay because it's fucking Bruce Lee, and that's a fucking awesome fight. And where did you write yours, Henry? I didn't see yours.
Did I not write it?
Anchorman.
Oh,
It
Anchorman,
was,
right?
it was the Anchorman fight scene.
Oh,
yeah.
Anchorman Melee. Oh yeah. That one's also like just like that's the thing. Like Anchorman 2 tried to copy it, but it wasn't quite as funny. That's because like Anchorman 1, when it comes to like all the news stations fighting, that's just you can't replicate that amount of like just funniness there, man. So yeah. Again, all bangers. I can't think of a bad pick so far. So yeah.
There you go. Jay, once again, as the creator of this topic, how has the first 4 rounds lived up to your expectations? Specifically
Honestly,
round 4.
Well, specifically round 4. Round 4 has been really good. Don't get me wrong. Like the Lion King Scar Simba fight is one of those things where it's like, oh, you can blame it on the hyenas, but if it wasn't Scar's own machinations doing this and that fight, it wouldn't be a thing. Warrior is one of those movies that I haven't really watched a whole lot. Can't talk about it. Anchorman, love that fight scene. Mine, absolutely love it. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon is in like my 7th round. All of the fights in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, just because I don't think that a lot of people remember watching that movie. And it's not like I'm playing for the poll, but I think that there are more fights that are here that are more memorable than that one itself.
There you go. And for me, obviously, I went with the Anchorman one. It's one of those ones where you kind of risk, reaching a little bit. But as the 2 that went after are not 2 that I would have picked, so that helps my confidence level there. But overall, I don't have an issue with how this went. The Lion King versus Simba, it's one of those ones where it's animated, obviously, so it slips your mind of it being a scene because you just don't have that that connection to it with that. But that's definitely a great pick. I seen Enter the Dragon once, and I just don't remember with that fight. Nothing against, I just don't remember. And then the Crouch Tiger one's fun, and the Warrior one, obviously, there's once again the emotion really plays into that. So great there, JPO.
No, really great round four here. Lion King. Yeah, there's no argument. Again, the emotions are there. Anchorman, like I said, that was a back pocket number 5 here for me because it's great. It's unexpected. That's why it's over number 2 because even though number 2 tried to do it bigger, it's still not more fun than the first one. Enter the Dragon absolutely is a great pick. I mean, come on, that was one I definitely toyed around with, and I'm not surprised went. And Crouching Tiger bored the shit out of me, but I was 10. And I never revisited it. And it's not meant for a 10-year-old. It was boring as shit. So I gotta. So I haven't seen it since.
I was 8 and I wasn't bored.
I don't know. I just remember being like, "When's it gonna pick up?"
Yeah,
Right.
but Ant-Man, you also did every single fucking mission in Red Dead Redemption number 2, so I don't want to hear it.
Fair enough.
Still haven't played it yet, but yeah.
Damn.
Jacob, how did round 4 look for you?
Quillon.
Yeah, I probably could have waited till the Lion King till next round because I kind of wanted that warrior fight. But I'm not surprised JPO took it because I know he likes that movie probably just as much as I do. Anchorman, well, yeah, just what everyone else said. Like, it's probably like the most memorable part of the movie for me personally. Like, that fight scene is just great. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. It's been a while since I've seen it, so I don't really remember the fight. And the same for Enter the Dragon. I've seen it once, and I need to revisit it because I do remember really enjoying it, but none of the fights are like sticking out to me. So I probably owe those two a rewatch before I can speak on them.
There you go. All right, Antonio, take us home with round 5. What is your final pick for the poll? I don't know if we're going to continue, but officially for the poll, what is your final pick?
All right. It's also a sword fight, and I couldn't leave it out because it's part of another one of my favorite franchises and part of my favorite movie of all time. I had to go with Luke Skywalker versus Darth Vader, Empire Strikes Back.
Ooh, good choice.
I know that Anakin versus Obi-Wan and Revenge of the Sith is a lot longer and possibly even more iconic, but for me, obviously my favorite movie, Empire Strikes Back. I feel maybe a little bit more biased because I just love the music in the background. I feel like it's a little bit more of a grounded sword fight. I always felt that the Anakin versus Obi-Wan, or even like most of the prequel lightsaber fights, were a little bit more too just, I don't know, like stunty or just like flashy. And maybe that's just my brothers getting in my head because they thought like them spinning this around was just like not what Jedi is supposed to do. But as I got older, I'm like, no, it's okay. But I just liked how like the fight between Luke and Darth, his father, pretty much were like just a little bit more just simpler, simple sword fight. And obviously it ends with one of the biggest reveals in cinema history. And yeah, man, just I couldn't leave it out, especially because it's part of one of my favorite movies of all time. So, or my favorite movie of all time. So definitely had to go and end it with the Star Wars film. So yeah, Luke versus Darth.
Scared the shit out of me. I thought that was Vader coming to get me. Dave, what's your final pick of the night for your topic?
I'm gonna just let this run real fast because it's.
Oh, I know where he's going.
It's Duel of the Fates. If we're gonna choose something from a fucking Star Wars franchise, it's not gonna be a little bitch ass. Oh, I'm gonna touch tips with you and then cut your fucking hand off. It's gonna be the thing that determines.
He did a flip or two.
Hey. It's gonna be the thing that determines the fate that creates Anakin Skywalker into fucking Darth Vader, and it will be the Duel of the Fates. I think that this is by far probably one of the most, not necessarily detrimental, but one of the most instrumental fights in all of Star Wars franchise. Everything else aside, this is Qui-Gon Jinn understanding that this is the chosen one and he needs to be set down in the correct path. And if he's not being sent down that correct path, all you will see is the Jedi temples in ruin. The Jedi will no longer be the main military force, but the Sith will also be able to reign over it. And that's why it is the Duel of the Fates, because if Maul wins, Anakin is allowed to be run ragged. This is the fight over the soul of a child, and it sucks that like these movies aren't the greatest. I'm talking the prequels. I'm not talking Star Wars in general, but the prequels aren't considered as like some of the greatest movies ever made. But I think that this fucking like 12 minutes of cinematography, of choreography, of just like everything it is that's involved here is by far some of the greatest cinema that's ever been made, regardless of what like George Lucas wants to say. I think that they did a better job of everything it is that they wanted to do in Empire. They did it better here, and nobody will ever say that that's actually fact because they're more stuck in the past. They're more looking at it that way. But I think Duel of the Fates is by far probably one of the best fight scenes that we have ever seen when it comes to a Star Wars movie, and we won't see its like for a very long time.
And awesome music too, for sure.
Facts.
Yeah, when you play that and it sounds like, a known song when you know what it is, yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly. It's true.
All right. So with that said, I am going to go with my final pick, my favorite franchise of all time, and my least favorite movie in the franchise. I am going Rocky versus Drago.
Tommy Gunn.
The Russian is cut. No, Rocky 4. Rocky 4. This is literally Rocky America taken down single-handedly. This
ends the Cold War.
Yeah, this movie is literally this fight is literally why people love this movie. Like, we're just being honest, you know what I mean? So it's essentially the Phantom. It's Duel of Fates to the Phantom Menace is this fight for Rocky 4. Like, this is why you show up. This is why you.
Who's he fighting in this?
Huh?
Who's he fighting in this?
Drago.
The Russian.
Okay, never seen it.
Zarashin.
Oh, that's fair. That was a joke. Okay.
You fight Zarya from Overwatch.
Yeah. So obviously there's potentially common sense things that you might have heard, but I'm not going to say it anyway. But there's stakes in this, and there's revenge to be had other than the America versus Russia thing, and also just Rocky's final official bout as a young man in his prime, his real fight. So yeah, this is one that I know this is a hot take essentially because it's below Rocky 5 for me personally, but this is my least favorite Rocky movie because there's just no story. But this is just the fight itself, though. This is why you play. You have a 47 minute scene of Rocky in his car thinking about the past, and then you have this fight. Essentially, that's what this movie is. You know what I mean? So, Rocky 4, Rocky versus Drago. The Russian is cut. JPO, what is your final pick of the night?
Oh, I'm so glad I was able to do exactly what I wanted to do here in round 5. I see your anchor man, Henry, and I raise you a Happy Gilmore. Bob Barker versus Happy.
Price is wrong, bitch.
Price is wrong. I don't want just a piece of you. I want the whole thing. It is unexpected. It is hilarious. The fact that they were making toys of it 15 years later shows how much love there is for this here, man. It's great. It's one of the best cameos of all time. Absolutely. Barker v. Happy.
There you go. All right. Last official one for the poll. JPO. I mean, not JPO. Jacob Barber.
He doesn't trust me, so you get to pick twice, Jordan. Who you might just have the steal of the draft right there. I completely forgot about that fight, but I mentioned it earlier. I don't think we were live yet, but it was which scene from the raid am I going to choose? And there's 2 movies full of awesome action, awesome fight scenes, but I'm going to go with the kitchen scene from the Raid 2 between the assassin and Rama. The kitchen, the walls start white. They don't end that way. I just think this is a brutal fight scene that makes good use of the setting around it, using the stuff in the kitchen really well. And if you haven't seen these movies, I highly recommend them. They are some of the best just like straight up action fight scenes that I have seen, which might not mean a lot because apparently I don't watch a lot of movies, but trust me on this one, at least. If you've not seen The Raid and The Raid 2, highly, highly recommend them, especially if you're a fan of good action and fight scenes.
Fair enough. All right. So how would you go in terms of opinion wise on round 5, Jacob?
Yeah, I'm surprised it took this long for Star Wars. Not surprised to see Rocky again. Yeah, I completely forgot about Happy Gilmore and Bob Barker. I think that's the pick of round 5. But overall, I think it's a solid round. I like all these picks.
There
I've
you
actually
go.
seen all these movies.
JPL, I mean, how about you? Obviously, you knew that you had your ace in the hole, but what are your thoughts on how round 5 went around you?
Again, I dig it. I dig it. I also thought about saying Raid 2 Kitchen Fight, not because I saw Raid, but I saw it was on a couple lists. So I was like, I didn't want to be that guy. Rocky 4, I'll see it someday. Phantom Menace, definitely. That was the one between that and Warrior. That's what I was flip flopping on round 4. So that's a great one, man. Here, yeah, like you said, despite whatever you think of the movie, fight scene wise, that's the Star Wars fight scene to me. But yeah, emotional wise too, Luke Invader, not a bad pick at all.
There you go. And then for me, I still haven't seen the Raid 2. I've seen the Raid, but I haven't seen the second one yet. So that's just, I haven't gotten there yet. Duel of Fates and Luke versus Vader. If I had to go based on just my style, I'd probably go to Luke Vader because I'm just, emotional person in terms of like, obviously my criteria, but both of them are great picks for this. And then the Happy Gilmore one, Bob, if I just totally spaced on, if I really had to pick between that and the Anchorman, I probably would pick this one instead. So, shout out to you for my F up. Jay, again, as the creator of this list, how did round 5 go? And what is your overall opinion on everyone's drafts?
Nobody has disappointed me with their picks. The only thing that has disappointed me so far is JPO saying, oh, this came out like 15 years after the fact. No, it came out 24 years after the fact because that Funko Pop that you showed was only released in 2020. Get wrecked, sir.
Copyright 2019. I didn't know.
2020, sir. I had to Google it just to flex on you. Everybody had great round 5s. Everybody had great round 4s.
You only proved I'm bad at math. That's all you proved.
Yeah, well, it's fine.
Which I could have
you had. I mean, that's fine. No, I knew Star Wars was gonna be a late pick, and again, this is if it was Ant-Man choosing Duel of the Fates, it would have been me choosing Vader versus Luke. But like, this is just it goes to show that there are so many fight scenes that can happen. And it was just so much fun. And there were some people out here who were like, "Oh no, I don't want to do this." I'm glad that we got to do this anyways.
And last but not least, Antonio.
Yeah, definitely no bad picks at all. I think that's actually the first time we've ever done that where like we all agree that maybe there's been no bad picks at all through 5 rounds. And yeah, I figured me and Jay would go Star Wars, and it's actually kind of surprising that Anakin versus Obi-Wan was left. But I mean, we both made compelling arguments for our respective picks. And Rocky versus Drago, I was thinking about that too, especially because of what you said. Yeah, man, America. And just the emotional weight. Just getting revenge for Apollo, just in general, and all that stuff, man. So, and pretty brutal fight, too, considering he gets like brain damage afterwards. So I haven't seen Raid 2. I think I only saw Raid 1 once. So, but I mean, I heard good things. So I want to see it. So, but I think JPO possibly is now contending with Jay for steal of the draft with Happy Gilmore because I was like, honestly, that's a fucking funny ass fight. And
that's
I was
weird for a minute at the beginning. I
was like, shit, that's fucking amazing. So that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, no bad picks all around. This is a great topic. I think we can even do another one, and there'll still be just as many awesome fights, as many awesome comedy fights. So yeah, man, I think this is a great draft all around.
There you go.
Jim
All
Carrey
right.
versus Jim Carrey, liar.
All right, here's everyone's recap. We have Antonio, The Matrix, Neo versus Agent Smith in the subway. Captain America: Civil War, the final fight between Iron Man, Cap, and Bucky. Rocky 1, Apollo versus Rocky, the final fight. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, the monastery fight, which I dubbed the Chinese church fight. Now I learned how to monastery. And his final pick of The Empire Strikes Back, Luke versus Vader. I'm your daddy now. Jay, he went with the hallway fight. He brought the hammer. He went with Ip Man, 1 versus 10. Everything Everywhere All at Once, Evelyn versus everyone, literally. Enter the Dragon, the final fight, and the Phantom Menace, Duel of the Fates. Henry went Kill Bill, Volume 1, The Bride versus Vernita Green. Spider-Man 2, the train fight. John Wick 3, the museum fight. Anchorman, the news anchor melee, and Rocky 4, Rocky versus Drago. JPO started off with They Live, the alley fight. Kingsman, the Secret Service, the church fight. Also going Kill Bill, but he went The Bride versus the Crazy 88. Warrior, the final fight between brothers. And Happy Gilmore, Bob versus Happy. And last but not least, Jacob Barber went The Inception hallway fight. Shang-Chi, the bus fight. The Wrestler, the final fight between Randy the Ram and the Ayatollah. The Lion King, Simba versus Scar. And the Raid 2 kitchen fight. So with that said, if you guys are watching this on the repeat and you're randomly selecting movie drafts or fight scenes or whatever, and you guys aren't familiar with us, go ahead and go onto the Facebook group, Confidential Movie Talk. We're going to have a poll and you're going to vote for your opinions on this. But if you're watching, also comment below your favorites. Comment below some of your favorite fight scenes that we did not bring up. And if you need to subscribe to the channel, go ahead and do that because we do drafts, other trivia things like ASATs, Jeopardy, etc., etc. And eventually, me and my new lady friend are going to have the mommy milkers out when reacting to movies that she'd never seen before. So with that said, Ant-Man, nothing specific that needs a plug. He just is going to be on a lot of trivia things. Jay, lose in my butt Twitch. What is your Twitch?
LOOZTHERIN, Lose Theron on Twitch.
Follow
we're loose in my butt, so
That's OnlyFans.
Rumble.
The OnlyFans handle.
Out.
Go ahead and check out the Pierce Co. Show about trivia, show about wrestling, show about shows, and all that stuff for JPO and join.
Show about trivia, Dick. Not gonna plug that one. All right.
I said literally that. Show about shows, show about trivia, ASAT. And then his Facebook group. What is it? Just the Pierce? Is it ASAT or what?
Pierce Co.
Yeah, a show about trivia.
Yeah, show about trivia is the Facebook group. And then Jacob Barber, he's over there on the Movie Hero Network doing stuff with those guys. Go ahead and subscribe to that channel. He's bringing back a show about our podcast about movies. Hopefully, yeah, it's hypothetical right now, but go ahead and check that out. And then, like I said, go ahead and check out the draft we just did just right before this, where we talked about what did we talk about? I forgot.
Movies under 100 minutes.
Movies under 101 minutes.
Oh,
all right,
101. That's right.
101 minutes.
Ant-Man 2.
I love how Chad was like, yeah, I got the steal of the draft. Chicago, first of all, ass. Second of all, 153
No,
minutes.
first of all, you're wrong. Great movie, but yeah,
My name is
Chicago
Henry
has
Confidential.
one good song.
that's plenty of good songs.
My name is Henry Confidential. Shout out to you guys. This is where we draft and do other stuff. Latest on the Minute.
Call my name, Mr.
Latest on